Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I am Reese, I'm about to give you a random review. And welcome to my 100th episode of Reese's Random Reviews. That's right guys, I have done this 100 times. This is my 100th episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I finally made it! Yay! Yeah, it's taken me nearly 2 years to do 100 episodes. That just shows how much life does get in the way, especially when you've got uni, seeing family, you've got friends, you've got a girlfriend, you've got work, you've got work experience, you've got filming, making films, going to film events, meeting actors. I've got a really busy life. I'm a proper Steven Spielberg when I get going. But apart from that, I'm here now back at home for a bit. I've just given London a bit of a break. So I'm here now. I hope everyone had a nice Easter, by the way. And yeah, I'm throwing in my 100th episode of Reese's Random Reviews. So it's good to finally get one out. Okay, so you're probably wondering, what movie am I going to be reviewing for my 100th episode? Well, before I talk about that, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports all of Reese's Random Reviews. If you haven't hardly seen many of my Reese's Random Review episodes and you don't know what this is even about, please just go on my playlist and you can see all 100 episodes on the playlist. You don't have to binge watch them. You can just scroll down and have a look at some and see what you think, and just let me know which is your favourite Reese's Random Review moments. In fact, after this episode, you don't have to talk about the film I'm mentioning now, but why don't you talk about what was your favourite episode of Reese's Random Reviews? Was it Danny DeVito month that I recently did? Was it when I talked about, reason to be excited about Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, War of the Planet of the Apes? Is it one of my top 10 lists? Is it when I talk about a certain theory, like I've Pixar gone sequel mad, for example? Is it... Oh, God, I've just done so many episodes. Yeah, just have a look and see which one's your favourite. And then just tell me, comment and like, dislike, share, don't share, whatever. It's completely up to you. Anyway, let's get down to the review. So for my 100th episode, I'm going to be reviewing... I wouldn't say this is a very well-known movie. I think it is in America, but not very much in the UK. But I found this film on Vimeo. And this is actually a movie. It's almost an hour long, but I credit it because it's a directorial debut for a 17-year-old director called Kansas Bolin, who made a film called B.C. Butcher. Now, this is the reason this is my 100th episode is because I'm praising this for its directorial debut. I think this film is actually a very interesting movie for a directorial debut. Now, I did my first ever feature film in 2014 with Big Crime in a Small Town. It's 40 minutes long. You can take a look at it in the on my film projects list. And I've done Cold Street last year, which is another film I'm doing. Another film I've done, sorry. It's on my playlist. I released it last year in August. So I've done 2 big feature films, which are almost an hour long. So I know what it's like to try and come up with a big idea and try and make it as special as possible. But B.C. Butcher is a horror comedy. It is definitely a black comedy, which is what I like. It's one of my favourite genres. And it's definitely the very most feminist horror film I've ever seen. It tells a story about these cave women who live in a tribe, and this creature is going around and it's killing cave women and men one by one. And 3 cave women try and search for this monster, and I think they try and go and search for their tribe and stuff like that. I can't really quite remember it because it was ages ago I watched it, but most of it hasn't left my mind because this is a very, very odd movie. But it's good odd. Like, it's not meant to be fantastic, but it's so good that it... No, it's so bad that it's good. Does that make sense? But it's just really funny. That's the thing with this movie. When I was watching it, I was just laughing the whole way through because it's just so bizarre. But I love it. It is actually such a great directorial debut. I think Kansas Bolin has created a very interesting, unique horror film. There's definitely loads of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Friday the 13th mixed in it. It does a little bit feel like an 80s horror. And that's what I like about it. It does feel like a late 70s, early 80s horror that you would normally watch. And it is quite violent and a little bit disturbing and a very bizarre film. But it's not bad. The actresses aren't bad in this film. Natasha Heavily, I can't pronounce her surname. But her name is Natasha. She is a fantastic actress in this film. She plays a character called Anaconda, and I think she's actually a really great character in this film. There is another character in this film, Neandra, who is played by Liani Fidelia. I do apologise, I can't get your names correctly, by the way, if they're watching this. I'm quite bad at pronouncing names, but they are literally the best characters in the film. They're very funny, and there is a really hilarious fight scene in the film when they argue, and when they fight, it is probably the most pathetic fight scene I've ever seen, but it's hilarious because it's meant to be. I think it's just meant to be like that. This film is just literally a flick that you put on to watch and just to enjoy. This isn't a must-see movie, although I do say that you should probably see it because it's just really funny. This is just honestly a film that you put on and just laugh. And that's what I thought about this movie. This is a very funny film because the acting is over the top, but they are really good actors. They're very good at being over the top. The directing is pretty good. The props are amazing. The settings are fantastic. It feels like an 80s horror. And I strongly say that for Candace Bolin, who directed this film when she was 17 years old, which is incredible, so I directed my first feature when I was 22, I've got to say that it's a fantastic directorial debut for a great start. So it's fantastic. And therefore, I give BC Butcher out of 10 a huge 8. Like I said, this isn't a must-see film. Loads of people weren't probably going to like it. But I did, because it's just a very fun film, and I think Candace Bolin did a great job. I think Natasha and Liliani, I can't pronounce names, I'm so sorry. Basically, the characters who played Anaconda and Leandra, they were the best ones in the film. It's just a really great film that I've just enjoyed. It's a very enjoyable film. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Again, thank you so much for supporting Research Random Reviews. You guys are the best, and thank you for supporting all these 100 episodes. Don't forget as well to watch my 48-hour challenge Regulated, which is a latest film that I've just released. You can check out all my film projects and check out all my random reviews now, on the playlists and everything. So again, thank you so much for watching this, and I am Reese, and I have just given you another random review for the 100th time.